Republicans will agree to extend Biden's enhanced Obamacare subsidies.
Oh, it's an easy yes for me. Easy yes. But you're an easy no.
I'm willing to admit that this is a bit of a wishful thinking thumbs down. So you have a lot of rhinos who want to extend these enhanced subsidies. Recall, the way the ACA was written, we already have been subsidizing these Obamacare exchanges to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars for, if not billions, for 15 or 10 years now, about 11 years now. These enhanced subsidies were Joe Biden's COVID-era emergency subsidies that were supposed to originally expire in 2022 because of the pandemic. Then Joe Biden in 2022 with the reconciliation bill expands them to expire right now, 2025. COVID was 5 years ago at this point, almost 6. And they want to extend it again. And you have Republicans who are saying, yeah, sure, let's do that. We need to spend more money. The reason why I don't think Republicans are going to extend the enhanced subsidies is because they have no reason to. There are actual concessions that the Democrats theoretically could make. And Avik Roy, who's a conservative economist who's been writing about this for years and years and years, has said we can use a temporary enhanced subsidy continuation in order to change the things that cannot be done in reconciliation. So for example, under Obamacare, they created like a ratio where you cannot charge a senior, an unhealthy person more than X percentage of what you charge the youngest, healthiest person, which is obviously absurd because that's not how insurance works. The whole point of insurance is you have from an actuarial perspective, they assess your risk and they charge you accordingly. And if you are very young and healthy and have no pre-existing conditions, of course you cost less for the insurance company to insure than someone who is obese and chain smokes and is 60 years old. That ratio, Democrats will not touch. It's one of those things that can only be done in reconciliation. You have other regulations with regards to those high deductible, low premium plans that young people used to thrive on. Because all Obamacare was, it was another generational redistributive program. The healthcare system was not perfect before Obamacare. However, where it really did work was for young people. Because young people, you pay $50 to $100 a month. You have a super high deductible. The assumption is you're going to pay your copay every time you go to the doctor.
But you're generally healthy.
And you're generally healthy.
Extended care.
And if you get hit by a bus or you get cancer or something like that, that's when the insurance takes over. Yeah. After you hit let's say you have to pay $4,000 out of pocket each year, not a big deal if you're only paying $50 a month to make sure if you get leukemia, you do have an insurance program. A plan like that has been banned. If Democrats had any good faith ability to negotiate something, sure, I could see extending the subsidies in a short run cost for long run transformative actual fixing of some of Obamacare's original problems. I could buy that. But right now, no. So you have Bill Cassidy sort of spearheading what the White House should do and what Trump has teased the White House will do, which is any subsidy has to go straight to the consumer, not to the insurance company through the form of health savings accounts. Again, another way that Republicans could actually improve the healthcare system, if Democrats let them, would be to remove it's about a $5,000 cap per person per year on what you can contribute to your health savings account, which is better than an IRA in terms of tax favorability. And this is money that is independent of the insurance company, but it's capped. And you can only have them if you have certain, higher level forms of health insurance. Like Christian, we have HSAs, but if you're working minimum wage job and have a, crappy health insurance program, you don't have access to HSAs. And that's very unfortunate. And we would like to expand it so more people are allowed to do HSAs. There's just no political incentive to expand the subsidies that are otherwise economically destructive.
This is exactly why I love doing this show with you, because I am certainly not an economist. I barely passed my one college math class, right? But what I do know is politics. And while I do agree with you that the ACA is certainly a flawed system and it goes maybe only a quarter of the way to addressing the pitfalls of the previous insurance system, you're fully wrong on this, okay? Your utopic explanation of how we should fix the healthcare system makes sense. The problem is we live in reality. I've got a couple of numbers here. 22 million, that's the number of people in America who will see their premiums go up by around $700, $800 if these tax credits expire at the end of this year. It's roughly going to be like a 300% increase on people who are making, I think, between 100% and 400% of the federal poverty level, which this year, for a household of two, was only $84,000, okay? That being said, Republicans only have 2 weeks before the end of the legislative calendar this year to either extend the tax credits, repeal and replace the Obamacare system, which again, let's not forget, took Democrats some 3 years to get approved under former President Obama, and then Republicans, led chiefly by President Trump's first HHS secretary during his first term, Tom Price, another former physician. They had 5 years to build out their own replacement plan, and then couldn't get it done with an even wider congressional majority, right? So it's just impossible. And I think the Republican Party recognizes the political downfall of saying, no, this is a broken system, and we don't want to just keep putting Band-Aids on the problem, heading into a midterm election cycle when, again, 22 million people are going to see their premiums go up by some 300%. I just don't think that's going to happen. And on top of that, the president himself has given Republicans the complete permission structure to extend these tax credits, to kick the can down the line, and try to deal with it after the midterms. There are 2 proposals. There's one proposal specifically, which is a 2-year extension, shout out Joe Biden, where again, this will be a problem for either the next administration or at least in the best case scenario, you want to talk about utopic fantasies again, where Republicans can maintain both majorities and they can just do whatever they want in the latter half of President Trump's term. I just don't see Republicans shooting themselves in the foot. I don't know if Democrats truly won the shutdown fight, but I do know they fully put the speed bump in, and Republicans could easily clear it and say, oh, we're the party who made sure your health care premiums went down, even though the Democrats threw a tantrum and refused to come to work for a month and a half. We got your back. But if they don't do that, who's going to have the blame? Voters have a short memory. No one's going to care about the October shutdown in November of 2026. All they're going to look at and say is, why the hell is my insurance so much more now, right? The party's in power, let it happen. And I don't think the GOP wants to do that.